Well, it's Namaskara, Bengaluru, Karnataka. Visuals coming in of the stage that is set for the oath-taking of the next Chief Minister of Karnataka and his deputy Kamal Hassan, Mehbooba Mufti. It's a stage set for opposition leaders as well. The Congress would be hoping to leverage this moment as peak starting its 2024 Lok Sabha campaign and a stage where they hope to be the stage where they prove to be the fulcrum of opposition unity. Nitish Kumar, well, he's the emissary of the Congress party, two political outfits that are not so aligned to the Congress as well. You have Mehbooba Mufti, you have Farooq Abdullah, you have Kamal Hassan, you have MK Stalin, you have Nitish Kumar, all of them coming in, sharing the stage today as Congress swears in their Chief Minister in their fourth state. MK Stalin in conversation with DK Shivkumar. You have Kamal Hassan there. All of them coming together for the oath-taking ceremony at the Kantevra Stadium. Mr. Siddaramaiah, the Chief Minister designate, still not reached, is what we are given to understand. But it seems that's okay. That's the local leadership, Gurdeep Sappal, that you see. Mr. Siddaramaiah also there. Mr. Siddaramaiah also there, being escorted by Mr. Gurdeep Sappal, a Congress leader, saying hello to Farooq Abdullah and other opposition leaders as well. Pleasantries being exchanged. Well, all is well where the Karnataka camp is concerned. DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah coming in together, the Chief Minister and his deputy. KC Venugopal extremely happy. KC Venugopal, viewers, in 2020 had handed over the post of General Secretary in terms of the Congress in Karnataka in charge to Randeep Singh Surjewala. He was the Karnataka in charge till 2020. The post then went to Randeep Singh Surjewala. Can't seem to find Randeep Singh Surjewala there, but he has to be. Okay, there he is. You have Randeep Singh Surjewala as well, coming in and sharing the stage. And this is going to be a picture which would possibly be the money shot. A picture that would be one of the big photographs splashed across national dailies and local dailies. Randeep Singh Surjewala alongside the deputy, DK Shivakumar and Mr. Siddaramaiah. This is a moment, of course, for the Congress, hoping that all goes well, at least where optics are concerned. All see
and the way he has been able to bring everybody on the same page, the way he has been able to project himself as somebody who does not belong to any faction, that as the Congress president, he would take all people along. I think that has been a major triumph for Mallikarjun Kharge. But of course, now expectations will be high. Soon after the Karnataka settlement happens, people will see how does Mr. Kharge resolve the crisis in Rajasthan. So I think expectations have now gone up. But I think the handling of the Karnataka situation by the Congress president has been exemplary. And this whole talk about being a remote-controlled Congress president, yes, of course, the Gandhi family has a role to play in decision-making in the Congress, but I think the Congress president has come out trumps in terms of how these issues have been handled.
Well, you're right there. You just saw those visuals of Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge ushering in the Gandhis, which is Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi, to come out and wave to the crowds. You know, right now I would reckon, and Dr. Shastri, the Congress would be hoping that they leverage what's happened in Karnataka locally. You know, till now it was all localized, a hyper-local election, local leadership, focus on all of that. Even where in terms of lobbying was concerned in the national capital, at least perception, optics-wise, it seemed to be limited to the houses of Mr. Kharge, and of course meeting with Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, but the optics were all about Mr. Kharge making that decision. Would you reckon the localized election now would hope to manifest a larger national dream?
Preeti, a lot of people have been saying that because Mr. Kharge belonged to Karnataka, he played such a major role in resolving the Karnataka crisis. I think the days ahead will prove whether that is true or not. As Congress president, would he be playing a major role in the public domain in resolving other challenges the Congress faces? I think as I said, the first major challenge, the first major litmus test was Karnataka, where he seems to have done reasonably well. And basically the focus and spotlight has been on him. Who he consults, who all are involved is a different issue. But ultimately the focus was on him. The final resolution of the crisis was also at his house in the presence of Congress leaders and the two main leaders. Now, is this something which is the template that the Congress is going to take forward is what would be seen closely. And whether the role that the Congress president played directly or indirectly in resolving the challenges in Karnataka, whether that template is something going to be playing out in other states and other developments which the Congress will have to face or is already facing, is something that would be closely watched as we move forward.
All right, the national anthem has just played where all the leaders on the dais standing up and now the proceedings will begin. And Dr. Shastri, my Kannada is not very good and I'm hoping that you're going to be helping me out in this. You know, it is a day that belongs to Karnataka and the Kannadigas, and today you have Mr. Siddaramaiah who's going to kickstart possibly the Congress's campaign in 2024, but that aside, it's a day that belongs to him. Second time taking oath as Chief Minister. And Dr. Shastri, you know, we've spoken about the fact that Mr. Siddaramaiah was the choice as the Chief Minister. But when you look at it in terms of pure party man, it has been Mr. D.K. Shivakumar. Mr. Siddaramaiah from the nursery of the Janata Dal, now, you know, the second time Chief Minister for the Congress. All right, so let's talk about Mr. Siddaramaiah a little more, you know, and his rise. Let's listen it. Yeah, Mr. Soren and Mr. Pawar going pehle up on a chair on whom sit, but that is Siddaramaiah. Let's hear in the applause.
ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಎಂಬ ಹೆಸರಿನ ನಾನು ಕಾನೂನಿನ ಮೂಲಕ ಸ್ಥಾಪಿತವಾದ ಭಾರತದ ಸಂವಿಧಾನದ ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಜವಾದ ಶ್ರದ್ಧೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಿಷ್ಠೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ನಾನು ಭಾರತದ ಸಾರ್ವಭೌಮತ್ವವನ್ನು ಮತ್ತು ಅಖಂಡತೆಯನ್ನು ಎತ್ತಿ ಹಿಡಿಯುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ಮತ್ತು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ಅಂತಃಕರಣಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ಭಯ ಅಥವಾ ಪಕ್ಷಪಾತವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ರಾಗದ್ವೇಷವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಗೆಯ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಸಂವಿಧಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ಕಾನೂನಿಗೆ ಅನುಸಾರವಾಗಿ ನ್ಯಾಯವಾದುದನ್ನೇ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ದೇವರ ಹೆಸರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಎಂಬ ಹೆಸರಿನ ನಾನು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಪರ್ಯಾಲೋಚನೆಗೆ ತರಲಾಗುವ ಅಥವಾ ನನಗೆ ತಿಳಿದು ಬರುವ ಯಾವುದೇ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯಗಳ ಯುಕ್ತ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆಗೆ ಅಗತ್ಯವಾಗಬಹುದಾದ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲದೆ ಅನ್ಯಥಾ ಯಾರೇ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ಅಥವಾ ಪರೋಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ತಿಳಿಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಬಹಿರಂಗಪಡಿಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ಎಂದು ದೇವರ ಹೆಸರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆ.
Has taken oath as the Chief Minister. Next in line would be his deputy, D.K. Shiv Kumar, and after that the 8 ministers would be following through. Of course, what cabinet posts that they would get would not be known today. That would be assigned later. They'd just be taking oath as part of the cabinet. That's Mr. Siddaramaiah signing in as the next Chief Minister of Karnataka. His second Chief Ministership, and he's been Deputy CM twice before, but that was not with the Congress. He's also just the second Chief Minister in Karnataka to complete a full 5-year term, Dr. Shastri.
It's interesting that, as always, Siddaramaiah took solemnly reaffirmed. He has always done that right from his first swearing-in ceremony in the 1980s. Today also in Canada, he solemnly reaffirmed, and that was the basis of the oath that he took.
So that is Mr. Siddaramaiah. Next in line, seems happy, understandably. Why not? All right. Next in line would be Mr. D.K. Shiv Kumar. That's Siddaramaiah waving to the crowds as he signs it. That's Sushil Kumar Shinde. He was one of the observers that was sent. Goes ahead and shakes hands with Nitish Kumar, Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh, Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. All of them congratulating him, as he is now no longer designate. Rahul Gandhi comes in, gives him a hug. All right. The governor handing him a small token in terms of a flower bouquet. The governor, Thawar Chand Gehlot, giving a bouquet of flowers to Mr. Siddaramaiah. Now, D.K. Shiv Kumar, let's hear it. Being sworn in as Deputy CM and coming in to take his oath. D.K. Shiv Kumar walking up to the dais to take his oath. Like I said, dressed in his Saturday best, waving to the crowds. Let's listen in the kind of support D.K. Shiv Kumar enjoys. Governor, but of course the governor, the language might be an issue, so will be taking his oath in Kannada.
ಕುಮಾರ್ ಎಂಬ ಹೆಸರಿನಾದ ನಾನು ಕಾನೂನು ಮೂಲಕ ಸ್ಥಾಪಿತವಾದ ಭಾರತದ ಸಂವಿಧಾನ ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಜವಾದ ಶ್ರದ್ಧೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಿಷ್ಠೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ನಾನು ಭಾರತದ ಸಾರ್ವಭೌಮತ್ವವನ್ನು ಮತ್ತು ಅಖಂಡತೆಯನ್ನು ಎತ್ತಿ ಹಿಡಿಯುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ಮತ್ತು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಉಪಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯವನ್ನು ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ಅಂತಃಕರಣದ ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ಭಯ ಅಥವಾ ಪಕ್ಷಪಾತವಿಲ್ಲದೆ, ರಾಗ ದ್ವೇಷವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಗೆಯ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಸಂವಿಧಾನ ಮತ್ತು ಕಾನೂನಿಗೆ ಅನುಸಾರವಾಗಿ ನ್ಯಾಯಯುತವಾಗಿದೆಂದು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ಶ್ರೀ ಗಂಗಾಧರ ಅಜ್ಜನ ಹೆಸರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ದೃಢೀಕರಣವನ್ನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆ. ನಾನು ಡಿ.ಕೆ. ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಎಂಬ ಹೆಸರು ನಾನು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಉಪಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಪರ್ಯಾಲೋಚನೆಗೆ ತರಲಾಗುವಾದಂಥ ಅಥವಾ ನನ್ನ ತಿಳಿಯ ಬಯಸುವ ಯಾವುದೇ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಉಪಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯಯುಕ್ತ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ ಅಗತ್ಯಬಹುದಾದಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳಲ್ಲದೆ ಅನ್ಯಥಾ ಯಾವುದೇ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಅಥವಾ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ಅಥವಾ ಪರೋಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ತಿಳಿಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಬಹಿರಂಗಪಡಿಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ಎಂದು ಗಂಗಾಧರ ಅಜ್ಜರ ಹೆಸರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ದೃಢೀಕರಣ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆ.
Shiv Kumar taking oath as Deputy CM, signing in. Next in line will be the other 8 cabinet ministers. That's just the first list, as pointed out by Dr. Shastri. 34 can be the cabinet of Karnataka. Dr. Shastri, 34 would include the Deputy CM and CM.
Yes, it includes both of them. The House has 224 members,
Right.
and 15% of that is 34. It includes both the CM and Deputy CM.
ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಜಿ ಪರಮೇಶ್ವರ್ ಇವರನ್ನು ಸಂಪುಟ ದರ್ಜೆ ಸಚಿವರಾಗಿ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಪದ ಹಾಗೂ
All right, next in line is Dr. G. Parameshwar. He represents the scheduled caste. It's interesting because in this cabinet, both where the Dalits are concerned, the left Dalit or the right Dalit representation has been given to both. Dr. G. Parameshwar was somebody who was actually lobbying for the Deputy Chief Minister's chair, Dr. Shastri. He made a lot of noises when only a single Deputy CM was announced. But many would suggest that was practically to leverage a plum cabinet post. Dr. G. Parameshwar representing the Dalit community.
Dr. G. Parameshwar ಎಂಬ ಹೆಸರಿನ ನಾನು ಕಾನೂನಿನ ಮೂಲಕ ಸ್ಥಾಪಿತವಾದ ಭಾರತದ ಸಂವಿಧಾನದ ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಜವಾದ ಶ್ರದ್ಧೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಿಷ್ಠೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ನಾನು ಭಾರತದ ಸಾರ್ವಭೌಮತ್ವವನ್ನು ಮತ್ತು ಅಖಂಡತೆಯನ್ನು ಎತ್ತಿ ಹಿಡಿಯುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ಮತ್ತು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ಅಂತಃಕರಣಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ಭಯ ಅಥವಾ ಪಕ್ಷಪಾತವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ರಾಗದ್ವೇಷವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಗೆಯ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಸಂವಿಧಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ಕಾನೂನಿಗೆ ಅನುಸಾರವಾಗಿ ನ್ಯಾಯವಾದದ್ದನ್ನೇ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ದೃಢೀಕರಣ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆ ಮತ್ತು ಸಂವಿಧಾನದ ಹೆಸರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆ. ನಾನು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಜಿ ಪರಮೇಶ್ವರ ಎಂಬ ಹೆಸರಿನ ನಾನು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಪರ್ಯಾಲೋಚನೆಗೆ ತರಲಾಗುವ ಅಥವಾ ನನಗೆ ತಿಳಿದು ಬರುವ ಯಾವುದೇ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯಗಳ ಯುಕ್ತ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆಗೆ ಅಗತ್ಯಬಹುದಾದ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲದೆ ಅನ್ಯಥಾ ಯಾರೇ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ಅಥವಾ ಪರೋಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ತಿಳಿಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಪಡಿಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯಗಳ ಯುಕ್ತ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆಗೆ ಅಗತ್ಯಬಹುದಾದ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲದೆ ಅನ್ಯಥಾ ಯಾರೇ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ಅಥವಾ ಪರೋಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ತಿಳಿಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಪಡಿಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ಎನ್ನುತ್ತೇನೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ದೃಢೀಕರಣ.
Mr. G. Parameshwara, I want to quickly bring in, while we have Nagarjun, our Karnataka Bureau Chief joining us. Naga, interesting, all communities been given representation. Right Dalit, which is traditionally with the Congress, represented by Mr. G. Parameshwar. Left Dalit, represented by Mr. K.H. Muniyappa, would possibly be coming in next.
Well, that is to the whole cabinet. The 8 members have been tactically chosen with all communities. Remember, Karnataka politics is completely filled with caste. Caste matters a lot in Karnataka politics, and hence the representation also has been given today. You have SC right, SC left, scheduled tribe, OBC, Lingayat, Vokliga, and Kuruba himself, the chief minister who's leading the pack, in fact, has been represented. So it was supposed to be 20 odd members is what we are told, but consensus could not be reached at least by 2 a.m. and the flight was at 3:30 is what we are told. So still discussions were going on, who to be inducted, who not to be inducted. A lot of consultations with the High Command, regional balance, social balance, and also age is a factor. If you look at the 8 people, all of them were a part of 2013 to 2018 cabinet. The High Command also wanted to give chance to new people as to there needs to be fresh air into the party so that 2024 also could be handled by them. Leadership has to be groomed. They don't want 2013 to 2018 cabinet to be repeated. There are 34 posts including the CM and Deputy CM in Karnataka cabinet. And if you fill in all seniors, what is the point of having first time, second time MLAs? They can't be sitting and warming the benches, right? That's the reason they could not reach a consensus. And both D.K. Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah wanted their MLAs from their camp to be included. But these 8 were from, both the leaders had agreed, including AICC High Command, that these 8 can be inducted right away tomorrow. Zamir Ahmed represents the Muslim community. Mr. George represents the Christian community, who is also very close to the High Command. What is interesting is not a single person from the upper house, that is the Legislative Council, has been represented. So most likely in the next quota or the next phase of expansion, we are expected to see the MLCs also to be given. B.K. Hariprasad is there, Salim Ahmed is there, Mr.
Nagarjun, I'm just going to come in. I think the next in line has been K.H. Muniyappa, Dalit, representing the left Dalit faction, which was traditionally with the Bharatiya Janata Party.
ಭಾರತ ಸಂವಿಧಾನ ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಜವಾದ ಶ್ರದ್ಧೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಿಷ್ಠೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ನಾನು ಭಾರತದ ಸಾರ್ವಭೌಮತ್ವವನ್ನು ಮತ್ತು ಅಖಂಡತೆಯನ್ನು ಎತ್ತಿ ಹಿಡಿಯುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ಮತ್ತು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ಅಂತಃಕರಣಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ಭಯ ಅಥವಾ ಪಕ್ಷಪಾತವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ರಾಗದ್ವೇಷವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಗೆಯ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಸಂವಿಧಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ಕಾನೂನಿಗೆ ಅನುಸಾರವಾಗಿ ನ್ಯಾಯವಾದನ್ನೇ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ದೇವರ ಹೆಸರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ದೃಢೀಕರಣ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆ. ನಾನು ಕಮ್ಮದಳ್ಳಿ ಹನುಮಪ್ಪ ಮುನಿಯಪ್ಪ ಎಂಬ ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಪರ್ಯಾಲೋಚನೆಗೆ ತರಲಾಗುವ ಅಥವಾ ನನಗೆ ತಿಳಿದು ಬರುವ ಯಾವುದೇ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಯುಕ್ತ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆಗೆ ಅಗತ್ಯವಾಗಬಹುದಾದ ಸಂದರ್ಭವನ್ನಲ್ಲದೆ ಅಥವಾ ಅನ್ಯಥಾ ಯಾರೇ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ಅಥವಾ ಪರೋಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ತಿಳಿಸಿಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಬಹಿರಂಗಪಡಿಸುತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಎಂದು ದೇವರ ಹೆಸರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ದೃಢೀಕರಣ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆ.
Muniyappa and Dr. Shastri, one of the biggest drivers of this win, and I'll come across both to Naga and you, has been the Dalit vote. And this Dalit vote this time around has come in from the left Dalit faction in Karnataka, which has traditionally been with the BJP. So important to give representation as per the Congress, where the likes of Mr. Muniyappa are concerned, who represent the left Dalit faction.
Very true, Preeti. The left Dalits have also this time moved quite significantly with the Congress. Let's also remember Mr. Muniyappa is a veteran. For several terms, he was a Lok Sabha member. He was a member of the Union Council of Ministers also. And his last elections he lost. And since then, he was keen on coming back to state politics. And that explains his contesting the state assembly elections and now becoming a minister in Karnataka. He has earlier been a minister at the union level and for several terms, the Kolar Lok Sabha MP.
All right, from Kolar there, representation been given where the SC community is concerned, and both sides where the Dalits are concerned. The Dalits en masse this time around have driven the emphatic win for the Congress party. I want to bring in Naga as well. You know, Naga, through the course of the campaign, so many times we've all, stood in studios and contemplated, talked ad nauseum about what could be one of the drivers of this vote for the Congress, and that would be of the Dalits. Both been given representation where the initial cabinet list is concerned.
That's true. In fact, out of the 8, 3 are from the Dalit community. You have Priyank Kharge,
Yes.
Dr. Parmeshwar, as well as K.H. Muniappa. So that forms the largest chunk among the 8 as well. The Dalits have significantly consolidated towards the Congress, at least in this election. Remember, the BJP quite was confident that their reservation will move the Dalits and the ST and SC votes completely towards the BJP, because they felt the reservation was a game changer. Every time we spoke to them, they said the Dalits were happy, but we saw protests happening across Karnataka, especially from the Banjara community as well. Not just the consolidation of the Dalits, there was confusion among the internal reservation as well. When the Dalits were given some quota, there was internal reservation between the SC right, SC left, touchables, and all of the factors came into play. Their history spoke for itself, right? Even in Tamil Nadu, when the AIDMK-led NDA government gave the PMK reservation there, the party lost. We also thought that this could happen, the history would repeat, and now we see the BJP giving internal reservation and the reservation for Lingayats, Mukhligas and the Dalits have lost the government. So it's a lesson for the politicians also that if you touch this topic just before elections, people can see through it.
Stay with us. The latest right now coming in, the oath take. KJ George close to the Congress High Command, taking oath, representing the minority Christian community. Dr. Shastri, KJ George, an old Congress hand, proverbially close to the Congress High Command.
Yes, Preeti, he's been close to the Congress High Command and has also been very close to Siddaramaiah. During the last tenure of Siddaramaiah's Chief Minister, KJ George was a close confidant of the Chief Minister and represents Bangalore and would be hoping to get a key portfolio in the new government.
You in on this, KJ George, Ramalinga Reddy, Mr. Zamir Ahmad Khan, 3 leaders, with something that even Dr. Shastri pointed out, because the 8 that have come really haven't represented the regions of Karnataka, but more so prominent leaders which were there in the 2013 cabinet as well. But these 3 in particular could also be picked because they come in from the Bangalore region, and the BBMP elections would be coming in next, so important in that respect.
Yes, Preeti, I think the fact that BBMP elections are coming and the presence of so many ministers from Bangalore is important. Let me also mention to you that in the earlier BJP cabinet also, Bangalore had a huge representation. Many of the senior ministers of the government were from Bangalore. So traditionally, the MLAs elected from Bangalore have had a very big share of the portfolios and the ministries in the government, and I don't think it will stop at 3. There will be others, because there are other prominent leaders elected from Bangalore, including people like Krishna Bairegowda. So they also would be expecting a place in the cabinet as the expansion happens. So 3 is just the beginning. I think we will have many more coming into the cabinet from this.
All right. All right, let's quickly cut across and continue to get you the latest. I want to pull in my colleague Naga, who's been with us, getting us, taking us through this oath-taking ceremony. Naga, interesting, with an eye on BBMP elections, it's imperative, that the Congress also thinks of that. So yes, regions not given representation, but there are still 22 berths left. MB Patil right now taking oath, Lingayat leader. Nagarjun.
Not just the BBMP. Post this, you have the local body elections, you have the BBMP elections, you have the MLC elections, and then finally the final of 2024 elections that are upcoming as well. So the party has to not just calm down. There's no honeymoon period as well. Right away they get into election mode. They have to start with the delimitation work. They had a problem with the BJP delimitation of BBMP wards as well as the reservation factor. Now they'll have to set that right and also take the poll ahead. So lot of work to be done in terms of electioneering in Bangalore, in local body as well as Lok Sabha. Only 11 months left or almost 10 months left for the Lok Sabha elections to kick in, and they have a task in hand. And that's the reason why, to also send a message, we have different state chief ministers in Karnataka here,
Right.
sending out a strong...
Naga, we've lost you. To tell our viewers, so many chief ministers all there together, lots of jammers, where the signal becomes very weak. So especially my colleagues who are inside the Kantivira Stadium, difficult to get through. So MB Patil just taking oath. There is a Lingayat leader. He made enough noises that he should have been accommodated as a deputy CM, where especially representation to the Lingayat community is concerned. And Dr. Shastri, the Lingayat vote this time, what is in terms of our post-poll data, which seems to suggest all gone to the BJP, or some of them have stuck, because a lot of Lingayat leaders from the Congress have won, over 34 if I'm not wrong.
Preeti, if you look at our Access My India poll and also what Lokmiti did, it very clearly shows that a chunk of the Lingayat vote has very much moved to the Congress. And that explains the Congress party's good performance in the Kittur, Karnataka region. And MP Patil is a very, very prominent Lingayat leader, again very close to the Chief Minister, hoping that he would have become Deputy Chief Minister, but then given the arrangement, he is a senior cabinet minister. I think among the people now selected for the cabinet, he is the only one from the Lingayat community. So he is the Lingayat face of the cabinet at the present point of time.
All right, so that was MB Patil. He wasn't happy when Mr. D.K. Shivakumar was announced as the only deputy CM, but taking a picture, he would be awarded a plum cabinet post, one would understand.
ಸಂಪುಟ ದರ್ಜೆ ಸಚಿವರಾಗಿ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಪದ ಹಾಗೂ ಗೋಪ್ಯತಾ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ವಚನ ಸ್ವೀಕರಿಸಲು.
All right, let's move on. Moving on where the oath-taking ceremony is concerned. Till now, you have the Chief Minister, the Deputy CM who've taken oath. All right, now coming in is ST, Scheduled Tribe leader, Mr. Jakri Holi. He's a Valmiki, Satish Jakri Holi, a part of the Jakri Holi brothers. The Jarki Holi brothers, especially where Ramesh Jarki Holi is concerned, from the BJP, fought a pitched battle. And Dr. Shastri, Satish Jarki Holi, interesting because where the brothers are concerned, they practically represent every political party in Karnataka.
You're right, Preeti. And Satish is also the working president of the KPCC. And two of the brothers are with the BJP, one brother is with the Congress. So, irrespective of which party comes to power, somebody from the Jarki Holi family is there in the government. They play a crucial role in the politics of Belagavi district, and that explains his being made a minister. Right. And given the fact that the scheduled tribe vote was also very crucial for the Congress, I think the representation of that group was also important.
Dr. Shastri, yes, the representation of the group where the scheduled tribe vote is concerned and also where the region was concerned. If one is to go by in the last election, he comes from a region that had gone the BJP's way. So one of the main reasons that the Congress has done this well and driven the kind of victory stems from what you would call the Kittur, Karnataka region.
Yes, Preeti, and also therefore these 8 names which are now there, they represent in important ways various factors: caste, seniority, proximity to leaders. All these factors are coming into play in the choice of the leaders who are now going to be in the government.
All right, so, like Dr. Shastri's pointed out, to tell our viewers, it's a cabinet of 34, which would include the Chief Minister and the Deputy. So, the Chief Minister, Deputy plus 8. 10 slots are gone where this cabinet is concerned, so 24 slots are left. It's going to be a tough ask from the Congress party, especially D.K. Shivakumar, Mr. Siddaramaiah and Mr. Kharge. Mr. Kharge will also have an important say in how, the 24 cabinet berths are filled. But to try and instill fresh young blood into the cabinet, the Congress would be hoping to do that, to give chance to first-time MLAs as well, to try and get a more dynamic, cohesive cabinet going. But right now you have Mr. Satish Jarki Holi, after taking oath, receiving a bouquet by the Governor of Karnataka, Mr. Thawar Chand Gehlot. And till now you've had the Chief Minister, his Deputy, G. Parameshwar, K.H. Muniappa, Mr. K.J. George, M.B. Patil, Satish Jarkhioli, who've all taken oath. Next in line would be Priyank Kharge. Priyank Kharge, ideally, or we'll see who comes up. But talking about Priyank Kharge, Nagarjun, son of Priyank Kharge coming in next, son of Mallikarjun Kharge. Also has been, the head of the party's campaign where Karnataka is concerned. Fought a very high-octane battle in Chittapur.
Well, that's true, Pooja. The son of the in fact, present AICC president as well. He's been a minister earlier, social welfare, IT and BT minister as well, and tourism. So Priyank has experience of administration, being in the cabinet in 2013 to 2018. Another Dalit face in the cabinet today from the Gulbarga Chittapur area. One with quite a hard battle is what we are told, that he had to fight the BJP quite hard. They had put in all their ammunition there, all their strength in Chittapur constituency. Mr. B.L. Santosh also had campaigned there extensively, and groundwork was done is what we are told. So he had won a hard-fought battle is what we are told. So today he's been rewarded by making him a minister. He will be also getting a prominent portfolio is what we are told. So he'll be getting something better than what he got last time, because he's a Dalit face as well. So there's prominence towards Dalits once again in this cabinet.
But it's also Dr. Shastri testimony to the clout of his father as well, and the kind of election he fought in the Kalyan Karnataka region. Kalyan Karnataka, like the last time, even more so this time, going the Congress's way.
Yes, and Priyank represents that Kalyan Karnataka region. He was one of the more efficient ministers in the government earlier, and I think among all the ministers we have now, he would be among the youngest. So in a sense, he represents the next generation of leaders who are coming up in the Congress in Karnataka. All the others are those who belong to the earlier generation of leaders. Priyank, in a sense, is seen as a youth leader, somebody who has come up the ranks over the years and is marked for his efficiency.
Right. Let's cut across to Nabila. Nabila, you followed Priyank Kharge's campaign quite well. Of course, a pitched battle in Chittapur, which he won, but also to touch upon, when we talk about this hyper-local campaign that the Karnataka Congress ran, a lot of credit will also go to Priyank Kharge.
Right. I wouldn't say all credit going to Priyank Kharge. Priyank Kharge is one of the integral, one of the, not really, not entirely. In fact, Sunil Konigalu is one who's really managed to design a fantastic youth-centric, local-centric campaign. Priyank Kharge was one among the many who were really backing this very innovative and stylish campaign that the Congress rolled out on ground. In fact, it was D.K. Shivkumar's very close team, and Priyank Kharge wasn't largely involved with that team, but he was one of them who played an integral role. But there are multiple people within the Congress who one should give credit to. It was D.K. Shivkumar's KPCC presidency and their team within the KPCC who hired, outsourced a team that Sunil led, where they designed some really interesting, fun, local campaign that we saw that came out on papers on a day-to-day basis, taking jibes at the BJP and also ensuring guarantees to the...
All right, just coming in, Nabila, just coming in, Ramalinga Reddy taking oath. Of course, Priyank Kharge, not the only, which I was pointing out, one of the key people to design a hyper-local campaign. But listen in, Ramalinga Reddy taking oath.
ಮತ್ತು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ಅಂತಃಕರಣಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ಭಯ ಅಥವಾ ಪಕ್ಷಪಾತವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ರಾಗದ್ವೇಷವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಗೆಯ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಸಂವಿಧಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುಸಾರವಾಗಿ ನ್ಯಾಯವಾದದ್ದೇನೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆಂದು ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ದೃಢೀಕರಣ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆ. ರಾಮಲಿಂಗಾರೆಡ್ಡಿ ಎಂಬ ಹೆಸರನ್ನು ನಾನು ಆಲೋಚನೆಗೆ ತರಲಾಗುವ ಅಥವಾ ನನಗೆ ತಿಳಿದು ಯುಕ್ತ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆಗೆ ಅಗತ್ಯವಾದ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲದೆ ಅಥವಾ ಅನ್ಯಥಾ ಯಾರೇ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ಅಥವಾ ಪರೋಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ತಿಳಿಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಬಹಿರಂಗಪಡಿಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ಎಂದು ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ದೃಢೀಕರಣ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇನೆ.
All right, Ramalinga Reddy, he also comes in from the Bengaluru constituency. So many of the 8 that have come in, 4 if one would suggest, or 3 rather right now, representing the Bengaluru constituency. So important for the BJP, for the Congress party to show representation. There are many multiple elections, and as Nagarjun was pointing out, it's going to be immediately, there is no putting your feet up and reveling and soaking in the victory. You've got a clock on and you have an election after election. Nabila. All right, all right. I don't think Nabila can hear us. We're going to try and get through to Nabila. But, cutting across to Rahul Srivastava and Nagarjun, which I'll bring in. Rahul, election after election, it's not that the Congress party can actually put up, where the Congress Karnataka unit is concerned, put up its feet and revel and bask in the glory of this victory.
Zamir Ahmed Khan ಇವರನ್ನು ಸಂಪುಟ ದರ್ಜೆ ಸಚಿವರಾಗಿ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಪದ ಹಾಗೂ ಗೋಪ್ಯತಾ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ವಚನ.
The Congress High Command has to replicate what it did in Karnataka and also find what is called area-specific or state-specific solutions. Because say, for example, you have Rajasthan, where you have a crisis perhaps much more aggravated than what is there was there in Karnataka. In Madhya Pradesh, for example, the Congress party has 2 leaders but are very senior leaders. It can't be that they can be spearheading campaigns. So the Congress will have to find something new there. Say, for example, Chhattisgarh, Telangana. These are all which will require different kind of solutions for the Congress party. If you see today, the TRS chief, the absence, indicative how Telangana rivalry between the Congress and the BRS is. And if that is so, then the Congress will have to compete with the BJP and find alliances. So each state will require a different kind of solution. And that is why the Congress cannot let up. Then in Karnataka, specifically, the Congress will have to be on a 24/7 alert, because any kind of one-upmanship between these 2 men who have taken oaths today with their loyalists taking oath today, I think there could be trouble.
Not just on a national scale, Rahul, other than one-upmanship between the deputy and his CM, also Karnataka unit, Nabila, is going to power into a massive election season where local body elections are concerned, and then you've got no breathing space. You've got local body elections after local body elections, and the pit stop is the big game, 2024 Lok Sabha.
Right, the local body elections, somehow the BJP manages to gain power when it comes to the BBMP. They are quite good when it comes to grassroots work here in Karnataka. I'm going to cut across to Nizam Faujdar as well, who's the spokesperson of the Congress here. Nizam, we see all the key leaders taking oath here for as cabinet ministers. Who's going to get what portfolio? Is the Congress unanimous and have consensus on the leaders that have been taking oath? Are they all happy?
I should say we are celebrating the festival of democracy. You see this little congressman here. I think that's the...
I'm not going to show kids on air. Go on.
It's okay. I'm showing, you can just show the top part of the head, but that's the euphoria that we have in Karnataka today. The aspirations of the country is related to Karnataka today. We get calls from all across country saying that how could you do it? We say it's all about your grit, it's your conviction.
What exactly is the signaling are you sending with all the national leaders who are right here? We see Nitish Kumar and Rahul Gandhi having a very close chat on stage even before the oath taking.
Absolutely. I think that's the mood of the nation today, We want to loosen the grip of this anarchism which is there in the country.
Why don't you have absolute unity? Why not Aam Aadmi Party's Arvind Kejriwal? Why not BRS's KCR? Pinarayi Vijayan?
So the visuals coming in, Nabila, right now of the Chief Minister, his deputy and at least the 8-member cabinet that has taken oath today. The cabinet portfolio is not decided yet, but we are getting to you. These are the visuals which will now at least has filled up the 10 of the 34 spots where the cabinet is concerned. Giving the thumbs up sign, DK Sivakumar, dressed in his Saturday best, flanked by the 8-member cabinet as well as the Chief Minister Siddaramaiah again giving the thumbs up sign. DK Sivakumar, also the President, KPCC President, addressing the people, first going ahead asking Siddaramaiah to come in and address the crowds there. But that's the governor right in the middle, Thawar Chand Gehlot, On the left of Mr. Thawar Chand Gehlot is Mr. Siddaramaiah. On the right is D.K. Sivakumar, and the other 8 ministers flanking the deputy, the newly minted deputy and the chief minister. So this is what the cabinet looks like. Nagarjun, getting you in right now. If you can hear me, that's the 8 cabinet ministers along with the chief minister and the deputy. 34 is the limit for the cabinet. 10 slots have been filled. The Congress will be spoiled for choice, or rather, they'll have their back against a wall when they have to fill in the next 24 slots where the cabinet is left.
Well, that is absolutely true, Preeti. These 8 people have been consensus candidates for all 3 factions, that's the AICC, Siddaramaiah and D.K. Shivakumar. The next big fight among these leaders will be who will be the next cabinet minister in the second phase, as well who will be getting the cabinet portfolio. We have 34 cabinet portfolios, but there are 70 to 75 people in the race, is what we are told. All of them in 2013 to 2018 who were cabinet ministers want to be ministers again. That's the problem here, because even the second time MLAs want to be represented.
Right.
Lingaites have won in large number, Dalits have won in large number. So the problem is of plenty for the Congress. 135, but there are only 34 cabinet portfolios. And that's the problem today, because out of 135, at least 60 to 70 are seniors or mid-level leaders. So they all want to be represented. Their aspirations have to be
All right, let's listen in, Naga. You know what's interesting, and I want to point out, till now the focus has been on the local leadership, where the national leadership was in the second row. But there have been invitees, chief ministers of other states, them being invited on stage right now. You have M.K. Stalin putting the Anga Vastra, where on D.K. Shivakumar, presenting him a small token where Tamil Nadu government is concerned. That's M.K. Stalin there. M.K. Stalin also going ahead and doing the same where the party president, Congress party president Mallikarjun Kharge is concerned. It's interesting, viewers, and one needs to draw a comparison to what happened in 2018.
ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಜನತೆ ನಮಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ. I welcome all the national leaders who have come from all over the country to bless us of the Indian National Congress. Whatever the guarantee we have given, our Honorable Congress President Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge ji, Rahul ji, Priyanka ji will speak to you for few minutes. You have to please hear that. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಈಗ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ್ ಖರ್ಗೆ ಸಾಹೇಬರು, ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರು, ಪ್ರಿಯಾಂಕಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರು ನಾವು ನುಡಿದಂತ ಏನು ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನ ನಾವು ನಡಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವು ಪದ್ಧತಿಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪವಿತ್ರವಾದ ನಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಅವರು ತಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಉದ್ದೇಶಿಸಿ ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ತಾವೆಲ್ಲ ತಾಳ್ಮೆಯಿಂದ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಬಂದಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾಯಕರುಗಳಿಗೆ ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಐತಿಹಾಸಿಕವಾದ
I want to welcome all the leaders who have come, but
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ
give us 2 minutes.
ಅಭಿನಂದಿಸಿ
The Congress leaders will address the gathering now.
ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ನಾಯಕರು ತಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಒಗ್ಗಟ್ಟಿನ ಪ್ರದರ್ಶನವನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
All right, D.K. Shivakumar as Karnataka Congress President, KPCC President, inviting Mallikarjun Kharge, Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi to come up and address the crowd. But this is the iconic picture. I don't know how this is going to go down in the times to come, because the 2018 picture with the opposition all standing together with their hands up, going into 2019 election, well, that hasn't really aged very well. And a similar picture being organized, actually being orchestrated and organized by D.K. Shivakumar, making space for every opposition leader to come up together. Are they going to raise their hands? It seems so, yes. Encore. There you have it. Tejasvi Surya, Tejasvi Yadav, I beg your pardon, and all other, Mr. Yechuri, you have Mr. Soren, M.K. Stalin, Kamal Hassan, all of them, all political leaders of the opposition coming in, raising their hands. You know, you can't draw these comparisons better. Just look at your television screen, viewers. On the right-hand side is a picture, and we're going to put the date key there, 2018, on the right-hand side. That picture hasn't aged well. Those visuals haven't aged well. But that was a different government, many would suggest, of the JDS. Things have changed, is what the Congress would want to tell you. Ajit Singh there. You know, Mr. Yechuri finds himself on the stage, Miss Mayawati doesn't, Akhilesh has refused to come. The dynamics look different but very similar in nature. What will happen this time around? But will go the same way. We're going to try and juxtapose both the pictures for our viewers. But ultimately this time around, the focus has been on local leadership, but what was to be, you have D. Raja there from the left parties, Mr. Sitaram Yechuri as well in the backdrop. All coming together once again as a show of strength of sorts before 2024. It's been organized by D.K. Shiv Kumar. I don't know if really the Congress High Command would have wanted to do it again, because when they did it the last time around, well, those visuals really didn't age so well. What we will hear now is from Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress Party President. We will hear from Rahul Gandhi as well as Priyanka Gandhi. He's invited each one of them to come and address at least a lakh of the Congress cadre which is in attendance. I would reckon Mr. Kharge would come in first. But Naga, I'll pull you in. Naga Arjun Dwarkanath, my colleague, is still with us. Naga Arjun, you were there in 2018 when a very similar stage was set. Those visuals there from 2018 haven't aged well, and very similar optics created today.
Maybe that's true. In fact, the same leaders had come to 2018 swearing-in ceremony. We saw what was the result after that. The 2019 elections, when in Karnataka, the BJP swept across the seats. Out of 28, 25 they won. One was independent. The independent MLA also went back to BJP to support the BJP now. And the BJP got a thumping 303, overtaking the previous seat share as well. So that's why we're talking about. But now, what they feel is it's a different time. In last 4 years, things have changed. Sentiments towards the central government have changed. Price rise is a big issue. This election was also fought on price rise. Cylinder prices have shot up, and that was one of the main reasons why Karnataka Congress also scored that much seats. So they are saying the sentiments are different right now. 303 is impossible, is what many Congress leaders are saying. When we speak to them off record, they are very hopeful that this unity will come back as peace. That's what they think, so we'll have to wait.
Coming right back, D.K. Shivakumar inviting the other members. There are a lot also that have gone into the makings of the victory of the Congress party in Karnataka. Randeep Singh Surjewala, of course, one of them. He was in charge. He took charge of the Congress in 2020 from Mr. K.C. Venugopal, and Congress was in the doldrums at that time. He's managed to do a good job.
Kharge ji,
Rahul Gandhi,
Sharad Pawar ji, Nitish Kumar ji, Stalin ji, Ashok Gehlot ji, Bhupesh Baghel ji, Hemant Soren ji, Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu ji, Sitaram Yechuri ji, Tejasvi Yadav ji, Farooq Abdullah ji, D. Raja ji, Abdul Samad Samdhani ji, Anil Desai ji, Jayant Chaudhary ji, Dipankar Bhattacharya ji, Dr. Tirumavarayalan ji, Kamal Hassan ji, Premachandra ji, Priyanka Gandhi ji, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah ji, D.K. Shiv Kumar ji, स्टेज पे हमारे वरिष्ठ नेता, प्यारे कार्यकर्ता, भाइयों और बहनों, आप सबका यहां बहुत बहुत स्वागत, नमस्कार।
ಎಲ್ಲ ಗಣ್ಯಾತಿ ಗಣ್ಯರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತನ ಕೋರ್ತಾ ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ।
कर्नाटक की जनता को मैं दिल से अपनी ओर से कांग्रेस पार्टी की ओर से धन्यवाद करता हूं।
ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಜೆಗಳಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ನನ್ನ ಮನಸ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
आपने पूरी तरह कांग्रेस पार्टी को समर्थन दिया.
ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಬೆಂಬಲಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಲ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ.
पिछले 5 सालों में आपने कौन सी मुश्किलें सही वो आप और हम जानते हैं.
ಕಳೆದ 5 ವರ್ಷಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಆದಂತ ತೊಂದರೆಗಳನ್ನ ಸಂಘರ್ಷಗಳನ್ನ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ.
मीडिया में बहुत लिखा गया कि ये चुनाव कांग्रेस पार्टी क्यों जीती.
ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಒಂದು ಸಮರ್ಥದಿಂದ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಗೆಲುವಾಗಿದೆ.
अलग अलग एनालिसिस हुई, अलग अलग थियरियां चालू की गई.
ಕನ್ನಡ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗಿದೆ.
इस जीत का सिर्फ एक कारण है और ये कारण है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी कर्नाटक के गरीबों के साथ, कमजोरों के साथ, पिछड़ों के साथ, दलितों के साथ, आदिवासियों के साथ खड़ी हुई.
ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ಒಂದು ಗೆಲುವಿಗೆ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಬಡವರ ಜೊತೆ, ದಲಿತರ ಜೊತೆ, ಹಿಂದುಳಿದವರ ಜೊತೆ, ಪರಿಶಿಷ್ಟ ಪಂಗಡದವರ ಜೊತೆ ನಿಂತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ಗೆಲುವಾಗಿದೆ.
हमारे पास सच्चाई थी और गरीब लोग थे.
ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ಹಿಂದುಳಿದವರು, ಬಡವರು ನಿಂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
बीजेपी के पास धन, दौलत, पावर, पुलिस सारा कुछ था.
ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಅವರ ಹತ್ರ ಆಸ್ತಿ, ಅಂತಸ್ತು, ಐಶ್ವರ್ಯ, ಕಾಸು, ಪೊಲೀಸು ಎಲ್ಲ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಗಳು ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಅವರ ಹತ್ರ ಇತ್ತು.
और उनकी सारी की सारी ताकत को कर्नाटक की जनता ने हरा दिया.
ಆದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಅವರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಗಳನ್ನ, ಕುತಂತ್ರಗಳನ್ನ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಜನತೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಪರಾಜಿತವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದೀರಾ.
उनके भ्रष्टाचार को हरा दिया. उनके भ्रष्टाचार को हरा दिया.
ಇವತ್ತು ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಭ್ರಷ್ಟಾಚಾರನ ನೀವು ತಿರಸ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿ ಸೋಲಿಸಿದ್ದೀರಾ.
उनकी नफरत को हरा दिया.
ಇವತ್ತು ಅವರ ಒಂದು ದ್ವೇಷದ ರಾಜಕಾರಣನ ನೀವು ಸೋಲಿಸಿದ್ದೀರಾ.
जैसे हमने यात्रा में कहा था, नफरत को मिटाया, मोहब्बत जीती.
ಇವತ್ತು ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾದಂತ ಸಂದೇಶ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ದ್ವೇಷನ ಮುಗಿಸಿ ಪ್ರೀತಿನ ಹರಡಿಸಿ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು
नफरत के बाजार में कर्नाटक ने लाखों मोहब्बत की दुकानें खोली हैं.
ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ಒಂದು ದ್ವೇಷನ ಮುಗಿಸೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಲಕ್ಷಾಂತರ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದವರು ತಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ಶ್ರಮ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀರಾ.
पिछले 5 साल आपने भ्रष्टाचार सहा.
ಕಳೆದ 5 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ನೀವು ಭ್ರಷ್ಟಾಚಾರನ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ.
हमने आपसे 5 वायदे किए थे.
ನಾವು ನಿಮಗೆ 5 ವಚನಗಳನ್ನ, 5 ಪ್ರಮಾಣಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ.
पहला वायदा गृह लक्ष्मी, 2000 रुपए हर महीने महिलाओं को.
ನಾವು ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಆಶ್ವಾಸನೆ ಗೃಹಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಹೆಣ್ಮಗು ಕೂಡ 2000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಅಂತ.
दूसरा वायदा गृह ज्योति, 200 यूनिट बिजली मुफ्त में.
ನಾವು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಂತ ಎರಡನೇ ಮಾತು ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಗೃಹ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ, 200 ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಉಚಿತವಾಗಿ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ.
तीसरा वायदा अन्न भाग्य, 10 किलो चावल हर परिवार के मेंबर को.
ಮೂರನೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಂತ ಮಾತು ಅನ್ನಭಾಗ್ಯ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಕುಟುಂಬದ ಸದಸ್ಯರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ 10 ಕೆಜಿ ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಉಚಿತವಾಗಿ.
चौथा वायदा शक्ति, महिलाओं को फ्री बस ट्रैवल पूरे कर्नाटक में.
ನಾಲ್ಕನೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಂತ ಮಾತು ಉಚಿತವಾಗಿ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರಿಗೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಸ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರವಾಸ ಉಚಿತ.
और 5वां वायदा युवा निधि, 3000 रुपए हर महीने ग्रेजुएट्स को और 1500 रुपए डिप्लोमा होल्डर्स को.
5ನೇ ಆಶ್ವಾಸನ ನಾವು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಯುವ ನಿಧಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಪದವೀಧರರಿಗೆ 3000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ, ಡಿಪ್ಲೊಮಾದವರಿಗೆ 1500 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ.
मैंने आपसे कहा था कि हम झूठे वायदे नहीं करते हैं.
ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಮಾತು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ, ನಾವು ಸುಳ್ಳು ಆಶ್ವಾಸನೆಗಳು ಕೊಡಂತವರಲ್ಲ.
जो हम कहते हैं हम कर दिखाते हैं.
ನಾವು ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತ ಮಾತನ್ನ ನುಡಿದಂತೆ ನಡೆಯಂತವ್ರು ನಾವು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೀವಿ.
1-2 घंटे में कर्नाटक की नई सरकार की पहली कैबिनेट मीटिंग होगी.
ಕೆಲವೇ ಗಂಟೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಪ್ರಪ್ರಥಮವಾದಂತ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
उस कैबिनेट मीटिंग में ये 5 हमारे जो वायदे हैं ये कानून बन जाएंगे.
ಆ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತ 5 ಆಶ್ವಾಸನೆಗಳು ಕಾನೂನಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
जो हम कहते हैं हम कर दिखाते हैं.
ನಾವು ನುಡಿದಂತೆ ನಡೆಯಂತವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷದವರು.
सरकार का लक्ष्य जो हमारे किसान हैं, मजदूर हैं, छोटे दुकानदार हैं, युवा हैं, उनकी रक्षा करना और उनके भविष्य को सुनहरा बनाना है।
ನಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಗುರಿ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ರೈತರು, ಕಿರಾಣಿ ಅಂಗಡಿದವರು, ಯುವಕರು, ವಿದ್ಯಾವಂತರು, ಉದ್ಯೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಂತವರು ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನೆರವಾಗಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೋಬೇಕನ್ನಂಥದ್ದು
हम आपको एक साफ सुथरी नॉन करप्ट सरकार देंगे।
ನಾವೊಂದು ಭ್ರಷ್ಟಾಚಾರ ಮುಕ್ತವಾದಂತ ಸುಸಂದ್ರವಾದಂತ ಸರ್ಕಾರನ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಂತ ಆಶ್ವಾಸನೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ।
एक बार फिर कर्नाटक के हर युवा माताओं और बहनों को धन्यवाद।
ನಾನು ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಯುವಕರಿಗೆ, ಅಕ್ಕ ತಂಗಿಯಂದ್ರಿಗೆ, ತಾಯಂದ್ರಿಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ।
आपने अपना प्यार और अपनी शक्ति कांग्रेस पार्टी को दी, हम इस बात को कभी नहीं भूलेंगे।
ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಪ್ರೀತಿ, ವಿಶ್ವಾಸನ, ಶಕ್ತಿನ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಕೂಡ ಮರೆಯಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯವಾಗಲ್ಲ।
ये सरकार कर्नाटक की जनता की सरकार है, आपकी सरकार है।
ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಜನತೆಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರ, ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ।
और ये दिल से आपके लिए काम करेगी।
ಇವರು ಮನಸ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ, ಶ್ರದ್ಧೆಯಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ದುಡಿತಾರೆ।
नमस्कार, जय हिंद।
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ಜೈ ಹಿಂದ್।
ಈಗ ತಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಉದ್ದೇಶಿಸಿ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾದಂತ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ್ ಖರ್ಗೆ ಸಾಹೇಬರು ಒಂದು ಸಂದೇಶವನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ।
ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಸೀನರಾದಂಥ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಚ್ಚುಮೆಚ್ಚಿನ ನಾಯಕರಾದಂಥ ಶ್ರೀ ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿ ಅವರೇ, ಪ್ರಿಯಾಂಕಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರೇ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳಾದ ಶ್ರೀ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನವರೇ ಹಾಗೂ ಉಪಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳಾದ ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರೇ, ಹಿರಿಯ ನಾಯಕರಾದ ಈ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಕುಳಿತಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ನಾಯಕರೇ, ವಿರೋಧ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಖಂಡರೇ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇರಿದಂತ ಬಂಧುಗಳೇ ಹಾಗೂ ಯುವ ಮಿತ್ರರೇ,
I welcome all the opposition leaders who are joining me here today.
ನಾನು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂತ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿ ಅವರು ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ 5 ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಯೋಜನೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ।
I'd like to say here today that I'm going to ensure that all our 5 guarantees will be delivered to the state of Karnataka.
ಮಾಡಿ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ವಾಗ್ದಾನವನ್ನ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ। ಅದರ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ನಾವು
We have promised that we are going to give you these, deliver these guarantees, and we will ensure it happens.
ಹಿಂದೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಆವಾಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ದೇವೆ। ನಾವೇನು ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಹಂಗೆ ಹೇಳೋದೊಂದು ಮಾಡೋದೊಂದು.
Even when we were in the opposition, we were doing our work. We are not like the BJP, saying one and doing something else.
ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಾತು ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಯಾವಾಗ ಜಪಾನ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೋ ಆವಾಗ ಒಂದು ನೋಟ್ ಬಂದು ನೋಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಹೊಡೆಸಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೋದ ಸಲ ಹೋಗಿದ್ರು ಜಪಾನ್ಗೆ, ಆವಾಗ 1000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ನೋಟ್ ಬಂದಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಈ ಸಾರಿ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ 2000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ನೋಟ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಬಂದಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರ ಅರ್ಥ ಅದು ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಲಾಭವನ್ನು, ಅದರಿಂದ ನುಕ್ಸಾನಿದೆ, ಇದು ಯಾವುದು ಕೂಡ ಅವರು ತಿಳಿಯೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಆ ಒಂದು ಏನು ಒಂದು ನೋಟ್ ಬಂದಿ ಈ ಕೆಲಸ ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
The 2000 rupees notes that have been withdrawn is not going to benefit the country. This is Modi, this is Prime Minister Modi and their government's way to kill the economy. Even demonetization was a wrong move.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ರು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಮುಂದೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರ, ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂತ.
Earlier the opposition were all divided, but today all of us are coming together as a united front.
ಒಂದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ನಾವು ನುಡಿದಂತೆ ನಡೀತೇವೆ, 5 ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ನಾವು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನನ್ನ ಮಾತನ್ನ
I am going to say this again. Our Congress government is going to ensure that they will deliver the 5 promises, our 5 guarantees that we have promised.
ಈಗ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಸಾಹೇಬರು ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ತಮಗೆ ವಂದನೆಯನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತಾರೆ.
Siddaramaiah is going to be speaking.
You want to hear Siddaramaiah?
ಎಐಸಿಸಿ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾದಂಥ ಮಾನ್ಯ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ ಖರ್ಗೆ ಅವರೇ, ಎಐಸಿಸಿ ಮಾಜಿ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾದಂಥ ಶ್ರೀ ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರೇ, ಎಐಸಿಸಿ ಪ್ರಧಾನ ಕಾರ್ಯದರ್ಶಿಗಳಾದಂಥ ಪ್ರಿಯಾಂಕಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರೇ, ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಸಮಿತಿಯ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾದಂಥ ಈಗ ಉಪಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಆದಂಥ ಡಿ.ಕೆ. ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರೇ, ಎಐಸಿಸಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಧಾನ ಕಾರ್ಯದರ್ಶಿಗಳೇ, ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದ ವಿವಿಧ ರಾಜ್ಯಗಳಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳೇ, ಮಾಜಿ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳೇ, ಲೋಕಸಭಾ ಸದಸ್ಯರೇ, ರಾಜ್ಯಸಭಾ ಸದಸ್ಯರೇ,
them who are here,
ಇತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪಕ್ಷಗಳ ನಾಯಕರುಗಳೇ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆರೆದಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆತ್ಮೀಯ ಬಂಧುಗಳೇ, ತಾಯಂದಿರೇ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಭಿಮಾನಿಗಳೇ, ಮಾಧ್ಯಮದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೆಳೆಯರೇ,
I welcome all the supporters, media and all the guests who are present here.
ಜಯ ಈ ನಾಡಿನ 7 ಕೋಟಿ ಕನ್ನಡಿಗರಿಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಜಯ.
This is a mandate that Karnataka's 6-7 crore people have got. It's because of all the blessings of Kannadigas that we are here.
ನಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ಕಾರ
It's all your blessings that our Sarkar has come with this majority.
ಈ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಜನರ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಕಾರಣ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಈ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ
It's all the blessings of the
ಪ್ರಚಾರ
people of
ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ
this state.
ಆದದ್ದು ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರ ಭಾರತ ಜೋಡೋ ಯಾತ್ರೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ಇವತ್ತು ಸ್ಮರಿಸಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ
It all started with Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra.
ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ ಖರ್ಗೆ ಅವರು, ಪ್ರಿಯಾಂಕಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರು, ಇನ್ನು ಅನೇಕ ಜನ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ ನಾಯಕರುಗಳು ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಚಾರವನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
All the leaders who campaigned for the Congress, including Rahul Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge, Priyanka Gandhi.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ಅರ್ಪಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ.
I really thank them for all their efforts in campaigning across the state.
ಸಂಘಟಕರು, ಸಂಘಟನೆಗಳ ನಾಯಕರುಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು
All associations and of all bodies and associations have shown their support for Congress in Karnataka. Even the youth, even the women. I can't thank all of you enough.
Vote taking ceremony ಗೆ ಅನೇಕ ಜನ ನಾಯಕರುಗಳು ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದ ಮೂಲಗಳಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ನಾಯಕರುಗಳಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಅವರು ಇವತ್ತು ಅನೇಕ ಕೆಲಸಗಳಿದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಆಶೀರ್ವದಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ನಮಗೆ ಶುಭ ಕೋರಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ನಾನು ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಕನ್ನಡದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜನರಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿ, ನಾವು ಜನರ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆಗೆ ತಕ್ಕಂತೆ ಆಡಳಿತವನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತೇವೆ.
I thank the entire state of
ಬದಲಾವಣೆಯನ್ನು
Karnataka
ಬಯಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
and I assure again that we will deliver all the promises that we made.
ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿಗಳು 5 ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ
all the guarantees, our 5 guarantees will be implemented.
ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಪ್ಪಿಗೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಡೋದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ ಆದೇಶವನ್ನು ಹೊರಡಿಸಿ 5 ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಜಾರಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಇದು ಕನ್ನಡ ನಾಡಿನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜನರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಹೊಸ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಕೊಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಭರವಸೆ, ವಾಗ್ದಾನ. ಈ ವಾಗ್ದಾನವನ್ನ ಈಡೇರಿಸೇ ತೀರ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮಾತನ್ನ ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿ, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮ್ಯಾನಿಫೆಸ್ಟೋನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಇತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಭರವಸೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ 5 ವರ್ಷಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪೂರೈಸತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಹಿಂದೆ ನುಡಿದಂತೆ ನಡೆದಿದ್ದೇವೆ.
In 5 years will be for us to deliver our 5 promises and guarantees.
ಮಾತನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾನು ಮಾತು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಜೈ ಹಿಂದ್, ಜೈ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ, ಜೈ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್.
I thank all of you again.
Quickly bring in my colleague Nabila, who's been translating for us. I think Priyanka Gandhi is getting ready to speak next. Not quite. All right. So this is the pictures of Banhami between Siddaramaiah and the other opposition leaders, Farooq Abdullah there as well as Sharad Pawar. But Nabila, when we heard Siddaramaiah, we heard Mallikarjun Kharge, we heard even Rahul Gandhi, a huge emphasis, Nabila, on delivering on the guarantees that they made in the Karnataka elections. Because if they are to carry the same model forward in other elections, they need to be seen to deliver.
Sure enough, and that's exactly what the country is talking about. The Congress has promised 5 guarantees which will cost them 62,000 crores a year. That's equal to the state's deficit, and that's what's the worry here, whether the Congress will be able to deliver these promises at a whopping cost of 62,000 crores a year. But of course, Priyanka Kharge, when I did speak to him personally, he said that the Congress have worked it out. And he goes on to blame the BJP, saying if the BJP wasn't so corrupt, they could have also done the same thing. We are going to ensure clean governance. We are not corrupt. We don't take commission, and we have worked out the numbers there. They are going to be announcing those guarantees and promising those guarantees to the people based on the kind of arithmetic that they've drawn out internally. Whatever it is, they're assuring that time and again right here on this stage as well. But one thing's very interesting, Preeti. We saw that in areas, districts like Chitradurga, Kolar and a few places, people were already insisting that they do not want to pay their electricity bills. 200 units of free electricity have been promised to the people of Karnataka, and we saw visuals coming out from different districts of Karnataka where even before the government was formed, people are saying we will not pay our electricity bill because Congress has promised us 200 units of free electricity. So that's the concession that we get. 62,000 crores a year, Preeti, it's going to be a Herculean task, but the Congress seems confident, and this is almost an example that they want to build here in the state as they fight different states, elections coming up in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan. It appears that the Congress is now planning for a similar pitch, similar guarantees in those states as well.
Right there, the Congress, Dr. Shastri, as I, continue to stay on with my colleague Nabila, will need to seem to be delivering. If this is the model that they're going to take forward, which is to keep our campaign local, to deliver where the Labharatis, which was a word practically coined by the BJP, and the women are concerned, they need to be seen to be doing it in a quick space where they don't seem to drag their feet on it. Understandably, the reason why that there is a cabinet meeting this evening, and immediately after that, there will be a signing off on all 5 guarantees.
Beyond a shadow of doubt, Preeti, this is the focus for multiple reasons. One, you won an election on these 5 promises. Number 2, you have another election next year where the voter will be expressing herself, and if you have not worked on these 5 promises, that's likely to impact the way voters respond in the election. So I think the 5 promises will very much be the focus of what the government does, and the government would want these 5 promises to actually be delivered on the ground, because unless this happens, it would be difficult for the Congress to face the election next year. And if the Congress wants to reverse this Karnataka trend of having a new party coming to power each time, it will be on the basis of what they deliver on the promises they have made.
Well, you're
and
right.
that explains also why Siddaramaiah sees himself as important, because having presented 13 budgets and during his last term the revenues doubled, he would believe that he has the leadership to be able to raise the revenues to implement these 5 promises.
Well, you're right there, Dr. Shastri, because what it's worth, Nabila, they have to do it. In the next 1 year, they need to be seen to be delivering on all 5 promises, no matter what it costs the state exchequer. Say governments like the Aam Aadmi Party government and their guarantees in Punjab, they still haven't delivered on all because they have a 5-year lag to actually go ahead and deliver. Congress is going into a high-octane Lok Sabha battle in the next 12 months. If they need to be facing their voters, they need to have delivered on what they promised this year.
They have no choice but to deliver, and in fact, Siddaramaiah, who is great with finance, is likely to hold the finance portfolio. He has presented 13 budgets in the state of Preeti, and they are very confident that they can do it. They've really drawn up their arithmetics here when it comes to delivering those promises, be it 2,000 rupees per head of the family for women, almost 3,000 rupees to graduates. They're looking at free travel for women, public transport. They're looking at 10 kgs of rice free for Karnataka for all the families. In fact, they've not even specified if it is for BPL families or for all households. That's where the grey area lies, and that's what's going to put the Congress here in a spot, because they've said that 2,000 rupees for women of every household. Head of the family, every woman would get 2,000, and there is no differentiation whether it's BPL families or just about everybody. I might get it as well, or my mother might get it as well, despite not being in the BPL category. So that's where the Congress will struggle to ensure a kind of balance. I'm not too sure how they're going to pull it off. But here the Siddaramaiah government says that they are going to ensure that they will deliver. Freebies is something that has been spoken about extensively here in Karnataka, but they feel that really seeps down to the ground and somehow captures the poor votes. Poor policies is what they've rolled out, and they believe that they can actually pick up the life of the downtrodden policies like this. But giving just about everybody, irrespective of BPL or non-BPL, is something they're worried whether the Congress can pull it off. About delivering those promises is something most governments have failed. We'll see if the Congress is successful in that. But Finance Ministry will be with Siddaramaiah. He's presented 13 budgets. He's managed to be quite successful in policies of such nature. All eyes on him and the spotlight on him if he will be able to pull that off. A quick word from the lady here. Free transport for women. Have you already tried it? Has it already come? Agidya?
ಇನ್ನು ಖುಷಿಯಾಗಿದೆ ನಮಗೆ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನವರನ್ನೇ ಇದು ಆಗಬೇಕು ಖುಷಿಯಾಗಿದೆ ಜೈ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ जय
सिद्धरामैया जो आज कर्नाटक का सीएम बन गए हैं, आज गरीब लोगों का घर में अमीर का बहुत बड़ा हो गया है। सिद्धरामैया गरीब आदमी है, गरीब आदमी को देखता है, बैकवर्ड लोग ऊपर आते हैं। सिद्धरामैया
5 गारंटी दे पाएंगे?
100% देता है, भरोसा है।
2013 में डिलीवर किया था।
डेफिनेटली, ऑफ कोर्स 161 नंबर बोलती है बीजेपी सरकार, मोदी सरकार झूठ बोलती है। 61 नंबर्स इज अप्रूव्ड।
ಸನ್ಮಾನ್ಯ ಶ್ರೀ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಅವರು ಈಗ ತಾನೇ
2013 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸಸ್, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸಸ್ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಮೇಡ್, ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದೇ ಡೆಲಿವರ್ಡ್?
ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಬೇಡಿಕೆಗಳು ಈಡೇರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ಸನ್ಮಾನ್ಯ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಅವರು ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಮಾತು ತಪ್ಪಲ್ಲ।
ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ 2013 ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ?
ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಇಂದಿರಾ ಕ್ಯಾಂಟೀನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು। ಈ ಇಂದಿರಾ ಕ್ಯಾಂಟೀನ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಮುಂದುವರಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಬೇಕು।
मैडम सिद्धरामैया जब सीएम था मैडम, जब 13 भरोसा क्लियर किया आदमी है, ये 5 बड़ी बात नहीं है सिद्धरामैया को।
अच्छा, so Annabhagya 2013 there were promises delivered by Siddaramaiah.
He is a great leader in throughout all over India. He has become the CM right now all over state of. We have all state Karnataka state people.
You all have great faith in them. All right, Preeti, you know the emotions running high here right outside the oath-taking ceremony that I'm at. People here.
All right.
He's rolled out several schemes like Annabhagya, Sheela Bhagya, Indira Canteens. These were really popular in his 2013 governance. all the 5 years that Siddaramaiah was there, he's delivered on most of the promises. So they believe that this time the 5 guarantees of the Congress also will be implemented. They have no doubt in that. But we've got to wait and watch.
Well, you know, now the focus shifts from the optics of it all, the opulence of this oath-taking ceremony, to deliverance. And the Congress does understand that, because they have a cabinet meeting this evening. After that, they're going to be signing off on the 5 guarantees, which, is a big ask, keeping in mind the amount of load it will be on the state exchequer. And they have only 1 year to deliver. Guarantees like 2,000 rupees to every head who's a woman in the below poverty line, be it even those who are graduates, postgraduates. There is a dole which the Congress is promising, unemployed. We're going to break it down in terms of what the Congress was able to deliver or not. We're going to keep a keen eye on all developments, but the big meeting of the cabinet this evening itself, and the Congress will sign off on all 5 guarantees. They need to be a pair optics-wise also to be doing it, because they have state elections coming up, and then in the next 1 year they have to face a Lok Sabha elections. If they don't deliver now, how will they face their voters in Lok Sabha? I appreciate all our reporters as well as our guests who joined us through the course of this coverage. Well, that's it for me now.